Back in the 80s, Columbia Baptist Conference was a big conference, and there was a need that was felt, especially by the East Side churches, to have a camp that was more located for them, so the Montana, Idaho, Eastern Washington folks, so they didn't have to travel so far to get to camp. And so Cliff Gustafson, who was the CE director for the conference, kind of ramrodded, found Camp Bighorn, found the site for Camp Bighorn here on the Clark Fork River, and had a vision for a camp here on the east side that would service those churches. Well, shortly after Camp Bighorn came into being, they hired a guy by the name of Tom Collins to be the director. And as Tom watched what was going on and how, yes, people came in and they made life-changing decisions for Christ in that time, built on an emotional high, you know, the campfire at the end, and whether or not that was a lasting change in their life or was carried over into their regular life. And Tom didn't really think that maybe that was the case, and so decided to make us a shift to an adventure-based experiential education program where the experiences lead us into a deeper walk with Christ and lead us into a relationship with Christ that can carry over into real life and as we go on into our regular world.
Adventure at Camp Bighorn means so much more than excitement. Here, adventure is an opportunity to help us show you that you can't do it on your own. We use rock climbing, rafting, ropes course, and kayaking as a tool to teach you the two things that you need in this life and the next: a relationship with God and a relationship with the people that He has put in your life. When people come to Camp Bighorn, there's an opportunity for a very lasting impression to be made. When you think about it, you don't always remember the 32nd time you heard someone preach from the Sermon on the Mount. You don't always remember the 53rd time you heard John 3:16. But you remember the first time you went rappelling. You remember that first time you made it through the rapids upright in a whitewater kayak. And when we can take those big events and marry them together with big important life lessons, lessons about how trustworthy God is and how big His love is, then not only do you remember how great it was to go rappelling or kayaking, but you remember how great it is to feel God's love and how great it is to know that you can trust Him anytime, anywhere, no matter how big or small the issue is.
I think the number one thing is whatever your preconceived notion is about coming to a Christian camp, wipe those out of your brain, because it's got to be different than what you expected.